guys, I'm Shane Emanuel. I will be walking you through the National Gallery of Art's webpage. The web address is nga.gov, and then it takes you to this page, which is the home page. Over the course of the presentation, I will be walking you through each of the tabs, spending the most time on the education one. But on the home page, I want to draw your attention to the top left where it lists important information right up front so you don't have to hunt for it. It lets us know that admission is always free. It offers directions, and then of course it's letting us know the gallery is closed today due to COVID-19. One thing I want to mention right off the bat is the website is very accessible. I never had to hunt to try to find something or get back to something. It feels like all roads lead to exactly what you want it to, which is quite nice. So here, getting started, we see a feature article, and it is updated frequently. I've been visiting over the course of the past 3 weeks, and I've noticed that several have rotated through. Below that, we see subtopics, which you will notice seem to be geared towards what's going on in the world right now, and I'm not sure if that was the case before COVID-19, but I think it's very wise of them to be doing it during this unprecedented times. So we see perspectives, virtual exhibitions, video and audio, explore the collection, focusing on wellness, and that's a mental and social aspect, family interactives, and teacher resources. Now when I click on each of these, it takes you to the corresponding tab. So teacher resources takes you to education. So we are going to be moving on to the first tab, which is the visit tab. So I'm going to click on that, and it gives us the drop down menu, but I just want to go to the main page itself. And mainly it's just telling you the admission hours, the collections you can see, and dining options. Down here at the bottom, it has frequently asked questions, and I scrolled through some of them, and they might be useful in teaching your students about museums and museum etiquette. So next we're going to be looking at the collections tab, and the first thing we see is the collections divided by highlights and recently acquired work. I'm going to click on highlights, and it brings you to a list of collections that you can view. And all of the images are high resolution, and you can zoom in on them once you've selected. And I am going to choose this one. Once you have selected, it tells you the details of the artwork, such as the artist, the date it was made, and dimensions or sizes. But below that, it also provides a provenance and exhibition history, which I thought was really interesting because that's not as common of information to find associated with a work of art. So I really appreciated that. Going back to the main page, it also divides it up based on collections themselves and artists, as well as medium. So if you want to give students a little bit more direction or make the search a little bit more narrowed, you can do that. At the bottom, they list related resources. I want to highlight the conservation tab because this isn't necessarily something students think about right away. Obviously with a work of art, you don't just attach a hanging wire and slap it up on the wall. There's a lot more behind the scenes work involved. And it's specific to the medium itself. You're not going to care for a sculpture the same way you would a photograph. So I think it's really nice how they have this resource to begin introducing students to this level of museum work. So let's click on Works on Paper, and then it provides a really nice detailed description of how and who all is involved. So it lists curators and scientists, and it kind of reminds students that everything is interconnected. And each tab provides examples of artworks which have been cared for, as well as how they are made. So when we click on this work by Raphael, it really takes us through the science of finding out how it was made. So they used infrared cameras, and they really dissected the layers of the artwork, and they get into how he made this drawing and how it developed into the final work of art that it is. So I thought that was very interesting, and that would be something students could latch on to, because I know in my classroom they want to get it right the exact first time, whereas a lot of times you don't get it right the first time, and it requires some adjusting and moving around and graphing it out. And so this could be a really useful tool to help them see that even the greats needed a process. Alright, so next let's look at exhibitions. And the way the National Gallery of Art does it is they break it down into current, upcoming, past exhibitions, as well as special installations. So when we click on one of them, it tells us more information, such as the dates it will be displayed, where it is within the museum, as well as a featured artwork. And it also provides more information about the exhibition and the artist himself. At the bottom, we can click on the slideshow and view the works of art. And we can zoom in and see closer up detail. It's not the same thing as being there, but it's a pretty close second. And then here's the special installations, upcoming exhibitions, exhibitions on tours, and past exhibitions. And although they are not displayed in the museum at this time, they've moved on, we can still find the information about it, as well as the artworks that were there. So it kind of provides a nice library of information. Alright, on to education. I'm not so sure whether you're looking for specifics or just a broad overview, so I'm going to do a little bit of both. So when you first scroll down, you're going to see on the left-hand side that it's divided into the most common different age ranges that would be visiting, or reasons why they're visiting. So within each, there are different activities that are kind of geared to their interests, or what they guess their interests would be, and there is some overlap, so just be aware of that. When we click on teachers, we have several different options, and I would like to say that they have a wealth of resources. Whether I am in person teaching or whether I'm doing it online, I definitely plan on using this as a resource, and you will see why in just a moment. So the first thing we're able to do is look at images and download them, print them off for our students. But please do be aware there is some nudity. When we click on here, we see subtopics. So let's say we want to integrate with music. We can click there and find so many different images. And then once we select one, we are able to see the details to the side on the left. And then we can zoom in on the image as well. Then going back, next up is lessons, and they have wonderful lesson plans. I can't believe I've never seen these before. And they have them for each level of a student's education, so pre-K through college, and I'm going to click on 3 through 5 since I teach elementary. And then they are also split up based on the overall theme that you might be going for. And again, there is some nudity present, so just be sure to look it through before you begin teaching, which we should be doing anyway. I'm going to click on self-portraits, and from the hook, or like the warm-up question, to the closure, everything is here. It gives you a step-by-step guide, and it also provides integrative opportunities and resources. So, materials, warm-up question, background, and they're engaging lessons. They also encourage collaborative thinking, peer interaction, so it's not just a sit and get kind of thing. They obviously had teachers write these. And they are like this across the board. It's just not that one. So that is awesome. I was very impressed with that. So beyond lesson plans, they also provide a wealth of resources, which we're going to look at. As part of the gallery's free loan program, educational institutions and groups throughout the U.S. can borrow teaching packets and DVDs, and also access dozens of lessons and interactives like games and things on their website. So they are very accommodating. So scrolling down, the museum provides information to schedule a tour or a program once COVID-19 passes, if you have the means or in the proximity of the museum to do so. So students in grades pre-kindergarten through 12 will encounter original works of art on Dorset-led tours that complement and enhance classroom learning. They will take time to look carefully, ask questions, and develop their own interpretation through open-ended discussion. And there's other information that you can find using each of the links below. So along with the online course, they also offer professional development opportunities. One of them is the Summer Institute for Educators. It is normally in person for about a week. But this year, due to COVID-19, they are piloting an online program, and there is a fee this time of $100 because it is online. Normally, I believe it's $200 or in the 200s. And then the teacher workshops, they are designed to help teachers find meaning and enjoyment in the visual arts that they can share with students. So these are a little bit more informal, and there are different ones that you can look through and register for. Lastly, down here is Kids Interactives, and we're actually going to talk about that in a minute when we talk about the kids' opportunities through the National Gallery of Art. Okay, so now that we've checked out teachers, we're going to move on to the NGA kids. And it tells you about an iPad app that they have designed, and I downloaded it and played with it for a little while, and it's actually pretty entertaining, and I think it'd be even more entertaining if I was a child. The app contains 8 interactive activities inspired by artworks in the collection of the National Gallery of Art, plus a sketchbook for free hand drawing and a personal exhibition space where users can save and display art created with the program. The child-friendly interface, easy-to-use tools, and the overarching emphasis on discovery, careful looking, and artistic self-expression make the NGA Kids app educational and fun for the whole family. So they have some screenshots of the games, and I'm going to quickly flip through them. So this is one where you can add your own face to portraits and design different things around it. And each app that they have has multiple levels of complexity. So it can entertain a 5-year-old all the way up to like middle school or high school. And it suits different styles of art as well. And it kind of just begins introducing students to artworks and formal elements and what they could expect to see within a museum. In addition to resources for educators and kids, they also offer family-specific programs. And the family programs at the National Gallery of Art are based on a philosophy of slowing down, focusing on one work of art, developing observation and thinking skills, inspiring curiosity and wonder, and fostering collaboration between children and adults. Many of the programs are age-specific, while others cover a more broader age range, and some of them require advanced registration, while others you can sign up the day of. All of them are free and on a first come, first served basis. So for teens specifically, they offer a few different programs. The programs are designed for students in grades 7 through 12 who want to explore their passion for art outside of the school setting. The programs offered cover a variety of museum experience such as in-gallery conversations, studio instruction, behind-the-scenes tours, career information, as well as the ability to meet and kind of network and collaborate with other teens who are interested in similar things. The museum also accommodates adults who are looking for educational opportunities, and they accommodate adults of any level through lectures, seminars, gallery talks, tours, and studio art programs. Lastly, under the education tab, the gallery offers internships and fellowships from curatorial to horticulture, education to exhibition design. The gallery offers training opportunities to explore many different museum professions. So next we're going to move to the conservation tab, and I sort of did this one out of order, but there is more information listed on this page than I talked about earlier. So we looked at how they tell us the treatment and care behind the different mediums themselves, but as we scroll down, we also see specific projects, and we can read more about the science behind that and how they have cared for them, different publications, as well as additional and related resources. Next is research, and there's so much to talk about here, but I'm running out of time, so I'll keep it broad. The NGA houses CASVA, which is the Center for Advanced Study in Visual Arts. Founded in 1979, it's a research institute that fosters study of the production, use, and cultural meaning of art, artifacts, architecture, urbanism, and photography, and film worldwide. Next, they house a library, and it serves staff, members of CASVA, and scholars. The gallery archives, collects, and preserves historical records relating to the NGA's history. Members of the public can reach out to make appointments and to request info. And they do offer a selection of publications, in case you're interested. And people can make appointments and access the online editions for scholarly purposes. Lastly, under this tab, we find the gallery's mission statement, actually, which is to serve the United States by preserving, collecting, exhibiting, and fostering the understanding of works of art at the highest possible museum and scholarly standards. Under calendar, we see the events listed out that would normally be taking place, from concerts to gallery talks, but you can also search by specific date, event type, and intended audience at the top. There are lots of ways to support the NGA, and they have information listed for each method. It was actually really interesting to read these and the statement above, to know that all that is involved and all that goes on kind of behind the scenes. They have quite an extensive gift shop where they show in-store items along with an online shop, and it ranges from jewelry to clothing to posters, pretty much anything you can imagine.